All right, I'm sitting down here with Louis Pacula from Oak Hill Country Club in Rochester, New York. We'll just jump right into it, Lou. What is your role as a manager at Oak Hill Country Club?
Yeah, so a little bit of myself. I am the director of play at Oak Hill. Basically, what that means is I handle a lot of the outside operation. I handle a staff of about 15 outside operations guys. I handle 65 caddies and about 20 starters on a day-to-day basis.
That's awesome. Would you say that you have a specific management style?
I think it depends on which group am dealing with. We have a lot of different generations that I have to work with. You know, our starters are a little bit older, anywhere from 55 to 70 years old, and some of our guys that we work outside with and with our caddies are anywhere between 17 years old and 60. So I mean, it kind of depends. I mean, I try to be a little bit more assertive with our full-time and part-time staff that works outside, just because I know that they're going to be able to grow and develop if I kind of get on. They're going to have some sort of motivation. With our independent contractors and some of our starters, I have to be a little bit more cooperative in the way that I work, or else you're kind of not going to get that buy-in that you want, and they'll just kind of leave. So it kind of just depends on what group I work with.
I think that's great. Let's see. Next question: do you have any role models that you look for leadership advice, or maybe even management advice?
Yeah, absolutely. Our head golf professional at the club, Jason Ballard, he's my biggest mentor that I've ever had in the golf industry. I look to him, daily, weekly, with advice and stuff for, not only managing our facility, but, anything that I had trouble with in life and things like that. I got a couple other people along the way. Recently, Jason Dick at Scioto Country Club has really helped me, with a couple things with this championship that we have coming up. He's done 4 or 5 USGA events, and I've kind of looked to him for some advice as far as running tournaments like that, because I'm kind of new to the industry and stuff like that. So,
awesome. Next question is, what is your role on a day-to-day basis? I know you talked a little bit about managing them, but what specifically is your role that you do?
Yeah, I mean, so most of the time I get to work around 6 o'clock in the morning. The first part of my day is administrative, emailing, scheduling, stuff like that. Then the majority of my day is spent outside handling, customer operation, customer service, talking to members, facilitating, their experience and their guest experience. And then as well as, kind of overseeing the entire outside operation, making sure our caddies are doing what they need to do, starters are doing what they need to do, outside operations doing what they need to do to make sure all of that is done successfully. And then in the afternoons, I usually have meetings, conferences, interviews, that kind of like administrative stuff from about 3 to 5 until I head out for the day.
Awesome. Would you say it's challenging to be as young as you are and be put in a leadership position?
I think it is. I think it depends on who you're working with. I think that the biggest thing is working hard so that your group tends to buy in to what you're teaching. I think that the biggest thing for me is I worked 1 year in the outside staff, and so I got a chance to show my worth from the very bottom. And now being in the managerial position, everyone knows that I know what I'm doing and that I work hard in what I do, and they trust my judgment with things. And I think that's the biggest thing, especially with older people. I think it's harder sometimes to get older people to buy in, because they kind of think that it's their way or the highway. But if you kind of just show them and build a rapport with them, that you can kind of get what you need to do out of your managerial position.
Yeah. Can you tell me about the path that you took to get to where you are?
Yeah, so I got mine like a lot of golf professionals do through our internship programs that we have at NC State. I did 3 internships, including one at Oak Hill, and that kind of transitioned into the job that I have now. That seems to be kind of the industry norm now. A lot of kids are going to school and they're going to do their internships, and then that turns into jobs. I know that's kind of what you're doing now, so that's kind of the pathway that I did. I just went internship to internship, and then this one turned into a job, basically.
Awesome. What advice do you have for me as a future manager?
I would just say know your staff, get to know them all, and try to be a part of their life as much as you can. I think that's the biggest thing, is if you really build a rapport with your staff and you really understand them and where they're at in life and things like that, it makes it a lot easier. I know a lot of my staff, I hang out with them a lot, and I get to know them a lot, and I know their families and stuff like that. And I think it's a big deal for me, because I know hey, so and so's daughter's birthday's coming up, or so and so's having a hard time or something like that. So if you know things that are going on in people's lives, it's a little bit easier to cope with situations. They might come in with family conflicts or things like that. You're gonna they're going to be more sensitive towards you, and they're going to tell you more, and they're going to trust you a little bit more. And I think that's a big thing with being a manager is understanding everyone and everything, even outside of work, not just their work relationship with them.
Great. What would you say is the biggest daily challenge that you face?
I think just inconsistencies. We are a reactionary golf facility, meaning that we don't have tee time, so we have to react to when people show up. We don't know that they're, coming or not. So I think the hardest part for us is just being ready right then, right there, and having everyone just buy into the fact that they have a role to play. And if there's might not necessarily be something for them to do right now, but there could be at any second. And so getting everyone to understand that their role is important and that they need to be ready to do something at all times and be ready to, turn the switch on at any moment and not just kind of wander.
What is your favorite part of your job?
I think it's just, the membership and getting to know people, and it's just a very rewarding position. I mean, I get to meet people from all around the world every day, and to be able to, have someone experience the club that I work at and enjoy it, and I'm a big part of that because they get to see me more than probably any other staff members. So being able to have someone experience working at or coming to our club and, getting that Oak Hill experience that we want to offer is something that's important to me.
Awesome. How did you get into the golf industry?
I just got into the program. I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I got into high school. I fell into golf kind of late in life, and I really enjoyed it. And I had a golf professional, Brad Lupchow at Maple Chase Golf and Country Club, who really kind of inspired me to go the golfing route. And I really just kind of springboarded off what he had talked to me about, and ever since then I've just really enjoyed it. So,
awesome. What are some strategies that you have used to build your network?
I think the biggest thing is just kind of finding where you want to be in life as far as where you want to be as a pro. I always knew I wanted to be in the East Coast, so I've tried to put myself in positions where I could work on the East Coast. So I've put myself with professionals that have a network on the East Coast, specifically the Northeast. So I wanted to make sure that my network kind of surrounded myself around people that could help me later on get into a job where we were in the Northeast and in the Southeast as well.
Do you have any advice for me starting my career this upcoming May?
I just think, the biggest thing is take every opportunity that you can. There's no opportunity that's, not going to be rewarding in golf, whether it be shadowing your local municipal pro, giving a lesson, or going over to a golf tech and, shadowing a lesson, or just going over to another facility and playing golf. I mean, you can never learn too much in golf. So I think that just taking every opportunity that you can to learn from someone or take some advice from someone is, great thing for everyone in golf.
Perfect. Two-part question. So 2 questions in here. Will you stay at Oak Hill for the full year or go down south in the winter? I know you talked a little bit about that, and some golf professionals stay full-time at their club and some go north-south. And if you are going down south, how did you come to the decision to do so?
So I will be going down south. It's a 6-6 deal that we have in New York just because of the time. We get snow around October, so it's kind of hard. We don't really stay open, really. The course is open and the facilities are open, but we don't need to staff during that period of time. So what we do is we'll work from the beginning of May through the end of October, and then we'll head to Florida or Georgia typically, and that's what I'll be doing. I'm not 100% sure where it's going to be, but I'll be heading to somewhere in Florida come October of this year.
Awesome. Do you recommend that I go north-south when I become a golf professional in May?
I think so. I think that, north-south is something great for all of us. It gives us kind of a fresh part of the winter, instead of sitting up in your northern club where it's snowing and there's not much going on, you get to go down and work at a new club, see some new ideas, meet new people, get to do some things that you might not necessarily do at your club and, refine some skills that you might have done in the past or, do something new like valet cars or do whatever that can kind of be helpful maybe later on when you're a pro and you have to do kind of everything.
Awesome. Do you set goals each season?
We do. So where I work, we set 5 goals. We do a tournament operations goal, a merchandising goal, an operational/business goal, a teaching goal, and a community outreach goal. So I set all 5 of those each year. We do small, short-term and long-term ones, so full year and then every month. And then we do action steps for each of those to how we're going to actually, day by day or week by week, complete those goals, and then we follow up, monthly.
Awesome. What is one of your long-term goals?
Right now, long-term goal for this season or long-term goal for life?
Just either. Just a
Long-term goal for like this season, for example, last year we had 95% of our caddy rounds were filled from what was requested. This year our goal is 97%. So we're looking to increase 2%. We're a new program, so we're very small in comparison to a lot of the bigger clubs in the country. So that's a small goal for me. 2% increase doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're going from 95 to 97, that becomes a little bit more difficult, especially when you get into like the end of the season where you have a lot of your college kids going back to school, and we only have 25 to 30 guys that aren't college kids. It makes it a little bit harder to maneuver around that.
Would you share one of your short-term goals with me?
Yeah, one of the short-term goals is right now for me is to find a job in Florida. That'd be a short-term goal for me right now.
Absolutely. What is your dream job? If you could pick any job in the country, in the world, what would that be?
I'd probably say, I think everyone would want to be the head pro at Augusta National. I think that'd be really, or one of the head pros at Augusta National. I think that'd be everyone's goal. It's probably the most famous golf course in the United States, so I think that'd be really cool.
Sure. And final question, what is the most important skill to have in the golf industry?
I think that it's just, patience is one of the biggest skills we can have. I mean, not only with teaching and golf in general is a patient game, but I think you have to be patient, You can't rush into anything. You have to wait kind of your time, and you have to understand that, that your time that you're putting in now is going to, turn into something later. And I think, the people that have been more patient in their careers have really done bigger and better things than the guys who have rushed into jobs, rushed into trying to get the money or get the status as high as they can the fastest, have kind of fallen on their face rather than taking your time and really, making good decisions.
Sure. Awesome. Well, Lewis, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Good luck with your upcoming season.